gonna let that simmer off for just a second. Over here, I've got onions and bell peppers. I cut 1 full onion, 2 green bell peppers. As we're making the lasagna right now, the first part of it, we're doing the filling, okay? So the filling is gonna be the meat. It's gonna be the hamburger meat. I got Italian sausage, so we're gonna mix together. But we have to do this in a layer type thing so that we add all the flavor that we want to it. So what we're gonna start with is the garlic. Then we're gonna add the onions and the bell peppers. We're gonna let it cook off in the oil and sherry for just a minute. If these things start to soften up, take on the shape that we want them to, then we'll go ahead and add our meats and cook everything off. With lasagna, what we have to do is kind of make a filling, kind of like you would a pie. So we're gonna cook all this stuff off. We're gonna bring it all back out into a bowl. I've got some other ingredients over here on the table that we're gonna add to the stuff. We have mushrooms. We have some black olives. Cottage cheese or cottage cheese, these are your main staples that are gonna go in your lasagna. Then of course, the tomato sauce that we're gonna mix in when we start making all of our sauce. We have anise spice here, some Parmesan. We also have oregano and basil somewhere. I think they're over here. So oregano and basil, I generally use fresh basil. The grocery store that I was at today did not have fresh basil. So we're gonna use the dried basil. Not my favorite, but it'll work.
And of course, the hamburger meat and the Italian sausage.
So we got 2 pounds of hamburger meat. I got the Johnsonville Italian sausages. These are gonna come in a cellulose wrap. What we're gonna do is when I take these out of here, we're gonna cut the cellulose wrap and we're gonna take the sausage filling out of the wrap. That way we don't have that cellulose in there. We just want the filling. We want this to cook kind of like hamburger meat, basically, in the same fashion, because we're gonna mix them together. So we're gonna slice these open. We're gonna take the filling out. We're gonna mix it with that hamburger meat. We got 3 eggs over here when we get ready to mix everything, and I'm gonna show you all that here in just a minute. Basically, we're just gonna layer this in. I'm gonna let you watch me cook this stuff, and then I'm gonna close the stream off until about 6 o'clock. I'll get everything else ready, and then I'll show you how I prepare to put the stuff in the oven. But right now, we're just cooking the garlic. We're starting to get a brown on that, if you want to show them that, love. We're starting to get a little brown on that. As soon as we get the good brown on this, then we're going to add those onions and bell peppers in. We're going to bring it all to that brown. Right now, what I'm doing really is flavoring everything, making it all have that good garlic flavor. And then we're going to start adding all of our other layers in. So just like everything else, when you watch me cook, and I'm sure you'll get to watch a lot more of me in the next couple of years, you'll see that I do everything in layers. Everything has to kind of add its flavor, give its piece, and then we move on, add the next piece to the puzzle. And everything kind of pieces their flavor in, and in the end, you end up tasting all those layers of flavor through whatever it is that you're cooking. So right now, we've got a pretty good little brown going on the garlic. I'm going to go ahead and put the onions and the bell peppers, and we're just going to drop it all right in. Grab one of my spoons here, and we're just going to mix this stuff up, and this is going to sit and cook for just a little while. It's going to take this up maybe 15-20 minutes to get where we want it. Like I said, once we get this where we want it, that's when we're going to add in our meats. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I prepare the sausage. Right, so we just slice it down the middle. What you're going to see is this cellulose, okay? This is what we want to get rid of. That's what they put to keep it in a sausage form. So now it's just meat, just like the hamburger meat.
I have to go pee, guys.
Okay. And we just slice them down the middle, and you see that this stuff just peels right off. Not hard to get off. It's a very thin layer, but it will give you trouble if you're trying to cook this the way we're going to cook it today. Good slice all the way down and just peel it off. And all sausage is made this way. So if you don't get the Johnsonville, if you get a different kind of Italian sausage, it's also going to have a cellulose layer on it. And when you're using it for lasagna, like I am right now, you just want to take that off. Okay, now we've got all of our sausage is ready to go. It's right here. Still looks like a sausage, but as you can see, this just breaks apart now. It wouldn't have done that with that cellulose layer on it. It's basically going to be just like hamburger meat. Here, I'm going to wash my hands after handling that. So I didn't show myself cutting the vegetables. It's just a tedious process. It's just dicing is all we did. We diced everything. Diced our garlic, diced our onions, diced our mushrooms. And man, this is really putting off a strong flavor now. It's really good. You can smell all the different things. The onions, the garlic, and the green peppers all cooking together right now. It's really smelling good. Okay. A little bit. I'm going to turn the heat up a touch. Let that cook off a little bit faster. Don't want too high of a heat, but like a medium heat. You want to get that olive oil just to a good simmer. You don't want to scorch anything, so keep your heat. You know, it's better to have it a little low and turn it up like I just did than to have it too high from the start, because you can scorch everything really quick. So just kind of bring the heat in. You know what I mean? Bring it in slow so that you don't end up with that scorch taste in your food.
You don't want the other one that's already open?
What brand is the other one? No. This one. It's basil. I love the smell of it. This is anise seed. We're not going to use much of this. It's one of those very rarely used spices, but we do use a little of it when we make marinara sauce.
How's that smell?
Dinner cooking?
Cooking.
Does it smell good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Smell like
that?
lasagna yet?
No, not yet.
Does it smell good?
No, not yet. I like this.
No, that ain't chicken.
What is it?
Sausage.
I'm touching it.
No,
Mama.
it's raw meat. You don't touch raw meat.
Good fresh vegetables cooking down right here. We're getting there now. You can hear that heat picked up. You can hear that oil really cooking those vegetables now.
Can you hold this for a minute?
As you can see what we got going, this is cooking off. You got some pretty color, and that green's coming out, and that bell peppers. The onions are starting to get a brownish, yellowish tint. We did use a yellow onion in this, so. All right. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. And what we're looking for now is to get our meat in there just as quickly as we can when this gets to that right spot. We want to make sure that we're adding that meat at the perfect time. Of course, this stuff is going to cook off a little more while we're cooking that, and we're going to add more grease to the situation because both the sausage and the hamburger meat are going to put off grease. Even if you get the leanest of hamburger meat, you're still going to put off some grease. I don't cook with that lean stuff. I like a lot of flavor in my food, and when it comes to hamburger meat, we're going to get a lot more flavor out of the medium.
Purple said hey. Noble said hey.
Hey guys, glad to have you on the stream. Like I said, keep track of me today. This is a process, so it's gonna take us a little bit getting it cooked. Like I said, I'm gonna get the meat cooked, and then I'm gonna sign back on about 6 o'clock to do the filling and go ahead and get everything put in the oven so you can watch it go. If you just joined us, what we've got right here, I chopped diced up onions, diced up garlic, diced up green peppers. We started off with a base of olive oil and sherry cooking wine. We're cooking all this stuff off in that. Right now, we're looking for some brownness in our onions and to get these bell
Yummy
peppers going.
lasagna. Yes, yes. It is yummy. I can promise you.
This was what was requested from my subscribers. If you guys want to see me cook anything else, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and just let me know what it is you want to see. I'm pretty roundabout on anything, man. I can cook just about anything. Practiced Asian food, I've practiced Italian food, American food, Mexican food. I can even do some Cuban, Peruvian kind of stuff. Seafood. You guys just let me know what you want to see me make. And we'll do another one next week sometime.
What time is dinner? When the lasagna is ready. I love you, Purple. You're cool. Tell Bull we said hi.
Yeah, I'm keeping everything down in that grease. Get that good cook on. We're just about ready to start.
24 to, I can't see what the other number is.
Nothing.
No, I think they have 7.
Oh yeah, I got 7 now.
Yeah, 24 to 7.
I predicted that one.
Mm-hmm. Can you get me my energy drink, Lord? I've got a major freaking headache from my hair being up. But starting to look good.
Smells fantastic.
It does.
Oh, I can just smell that smell all day long. I love that smell. I should make a candle that smells like that.
Right?
We're gonna go straight in. Ooh, we made a little mess.
It's supposed to be a little bit messy.
Somebody else cooked it if it wasn't. Let's go straight in with these sausages right on top.
And there's the sausages and the hamburger meat added.
Once again, we remove that cellulose layer on the sausages, so they are just like the hamburger meat. Now it's just basically ground up pork and beef made with Italian spices, making it Italian sausage. Alright, so we want to get a good mixture going on this. but we still have spices to add to this too. Because while our Italian sausage has a little Italian spice to it, our hamburger meat has none. So we're about to add spices and really get our cook on.
And as you see, he's just mixing it all together right now.
Like giving it a little mix. We're not going nuts on the mix right now because it all has to cook off. And as it cooks off, it's going to be easier to mix right now. Cold and uncooked and very sticky. But we are ready to add some of this stuff.
Some of the oregano.
So we have oregano. We're going to use a pretty hearty amount of this. Probably like 3 tablespoons. You want quite a bit of oregano in here. We're going to have to just do it this way. And that's what we're looking for there. We're also going to go in with a little bit of anise. Anise we don't need very much, man. Those are little seeds, but we're going to do like a pinch. Touch it. That's it. Not much of that. That's got a strong flavor. That's going to come through just that little bit. And this one is basil. And we need a little more of this too. Okay. We're going to add our salt. The one I'm using is the coarse sea salt. It's coarse when it goes in. This is going to cook into the oil. It's going to reduce the size of the salt, so the salt is literally going to cook down. And we don't want a lot of this either, because that is going to produce a good salty flavor. Now we start mixing, and you can hear that meat really starting to put its oil out. Bring stuff from the bottom to the top so that the stuff that's not on the bottom has a chance to get down there. Closer to the heat. Look at all those vegetables coming up. They look beautiful now. Okay.
Love it.
Now, of course, your option you do have options when you're making this. I like it with all this stuff in it. There are people out there that don't eat onions. There are people out there that don't eat bell peppers. I'm well aware of that. You don't have to use all that stuff. If you don't want it in there, don't put it in there. It's totally up to you what you decide to use and what you don't. The important part is the vegetables that you are going to use. You want them to go ahead and get a little cook ahead of the meat. So do your best to get whatever vegetables you are using in there first. If you have questions about how you should cook it, you want to use different ingredients, I've made it many different ways, so feel free to hit me a message. However you want to do it, I will be happy to answer questions, help you cook whatever it is. Even if it's not lasagna, if you're cooking something else crazy or whatever, you want to try something new, you want suggestions, tips, anything like that, just let me know, man. I'm happy to help out if it comes to cooking. I'm very experienced. Been doing this for a long time. This is my hobby. I've done it as a job more than once. I was a chef in Florida for a long period of time. You can smell the sausage cooking in with the burger meat now. all the vegetables mixing in, everything just kind of, we added another layer to the flavor that we are, the smells and the flavors that we already had going on. And now it smells Italian. Now that we've got that oregano and basil going in there, it's really got an Italian smell to it. You can see it all cooking down.
You done with this?
I am.
What do you need, my son?
So guys, I don't think you want to sit here and just watch meat cook forever. What I'm going to do is go ahead and shut the stream down. All I'm doing with this is I'm going to take this to brown. Whenever this is completely brown, of course you can see right now there's still lots of pink in it. But we're going to cook it all the way down until it's brown. Everything is cooked together, and I'm going to drain the grease off of it, and we're going to let it cool off. And probably about 6 o'clock, I will fire the stream up again. We're going to cook off the noodles, and we're going to make the mixture and get everything ready to go in the oven. So if y'all want to join me again at 6 o'clock, I will be happy to see you, and we will finish making this lasagna. Once again, it's James T. Kirk, 1978. I'm signing off for a little while. You guys keep your mouths watering, stay hungry. I'll see you in just a little while.